Hey y'all, welcome back to Movement Link. So this video is going to be about my class planning. I've got another video about the timing and about my teach and practice. So what this video is going to be about is my checklist that I do every single time after I do my class planning, just to make sure that I didn't rush it or forget anything. So what I do is I use this acronym, let's use a different color here, called CNEWS. Okay? What this does is after I think I'm done with my class planning, I double check that I'm done with my class planning. It stands for clock, newbies, equipment, weather, shoes. Let's go through them. Clock. How am I going to use the clock in this workout? I already have my timing. So what I know is that 19 minutes into class, I need to be starting this, which means 12 minutes into class, I need to be finishing up my warm-up. And I need to be explaining what this is so I can give people 7 minutes to warm up their snatch. So I would set a clock for 7 minutes counting down. I know at the 19-minute mark, I'm going to set a clock for 8-minute 45-second rounds. I've got that. I'm going to talk about this workout next with whatever time is remaining before 40 minutes into class. I'm going to set a clock counting down to the WOD start time. For this workout, I've got a 12-minute time cap. And again, all of these numbers, I've got another video, just the timing of my class planning, but a 12-minute time cap. So I'm going to count the clock going up to 12, and then I've got the cool down. So I don't have to specifically write it, but I need to run through it in my head. How am I using the clock? I've got to figure it out. Newbies. If a brand new person who's never done anything we do in the gym comes into my class today, how am I going to handle them? We've got snatches, probably the most difficult thing we do in the gym. So what am I going to do? I'm going to try and meet them at their level. I know that more important than them doing something that looks like a snatch is them developing the basics that we can then turn into the skills required for a snatch. So the snatch being the most complicated thing, something that's very similar to a snatch is a kettlebell swing. So I just start all my new people off with teaching them how to stand, squat, do a push-up, how to jump. And then I transition that into showing them how a kettlebell swing is just that jumping pattern with weight. The kettlebell swing and the snatch is very, very similar. And if you have an issue with the kettlebell swing, we know you're going to have that exact same issue with the snatch, but the snatch is so much more complicated. There's so much going on. So until that person has done kettlebell swings, until that person has pressed overhead and shown a good overhead position, then there's no reason to overcomplicate it with the snatch. It's not that they can't do a snatch or they can't do something that looks like a snatch. It's so complicated that they're going to learn way faster and they're going to get to be able to do a snatch better and faster if they start with the basics first. So my plan is probably going to be my snatch progressions, which usually start with kettlebell swings, then move into look overhead, and then I like to work from the hip. So in my head, I've thought through it. If I have a new person, I'm going to get everybody else running on snatches. Then I'm going to show the new person real quick tips on a kettlebell swing. I'm going to give them a rep scheme as they're going 8-minute 45-second rounds. They're probably going to do 8 rounds. They're going to do 10 kettlebell swings a round. And then that way, as I'm working with everybody on the snatch, I can work with them on the kettlebell swing. And as it improves, maybe I hand them a barbell and we move into it. But we'll see. That's my plan. Box jumps, new people should just go real low, something they're comfortable with. More emphasis on the intensity and not the height of the box. Toes to bar, we can always do hanging knee raises. We can do candlesticks. There's some other things on the ground. We're going to be fine there. And thrusters, everybody hates them. Front rack can be an issue for some new people. So if that's the case, we're going to do thrusters with dumbbells. But in general, we're going to be able to teach them a squat and a press overhead, especially if we've covered squat, push-up, jump here. To simplify things with a new person, I'll probably use the dumbbells because we don't have to go through the weird, awkward front rack position day one. We'll save that once they're comfortable squatting and doing these other things. So I've got my newbie plan. Now, equipment. There's certain pieces of equipment that we just don't have enough for everybody in the gym. We've got a certain number of sleds, GHDs, rowers, bikes, things like that, racks. And sometimes if we got a big class, we have to figure out how to organize and share. Barbells, boxes, we're completely fine on this. But if this was a workout that started with a 50 cal row, then maybe I'd have to come up with a clever way to wave people in to this workout where everybody gets to do the same workout, but maybe some people start 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, and then what are those people going to be doing while they wait? I need to have something for them to do. So that's to remind me to figure that out and not get trapped and have people just standing around in class. Weather, no weather considerations here, but if we were running, a mixture of running and box jumps would have been a bad mix with possible slipping. So I'd want to have a running sub. You don't want to just sub rowing for running all the time. If the workout was 100 pull-ups and running, and you subbed rowing, now they've just pulled the whole workout, and that's very different than running and pulling. So we want to use a mixture of double unders, step-ups, burpees, single unders, running, jump ropes, rowing, bike. We want to do it in a way that's clever enough to not step on the toes of what we're trying to get done in the workout. And then shoes. Once I think I've got everything figured out, I run back through my plan and I put myself in the shoes of somebody in my own class. If we warmed up and then I was given 7 minutes to work up to 55% after we've done a barbell warm up and everything, do I feel like that's enough time and is that fair? Yeah. If I'm going to do 8 sets of 3 and the goal is working up to probably 2 or 3 heavy sets of 3, is 8-minute 45-second rounds reasonable? For snatches, yes. If this was like heavy back squats, I'd say no. But Olympic lifting with that power move, I'd say yes. 7 minutes. Is 7 minutes enough now that I'm warmed up, done with snatches, to get a box out? I've already got my barbell out to do maybe 3 rounds of 3 reps of these things. Is that enough time? Yes. So I'm happy with that if I was to take the class. And of course, the first class I coach, inevitably I'm like, oh, that was a bad idea, and I change it for the next class. But it's so easy to tweak those things. But it's just kind of guess, do the best that you can. Then the last part of shoes too is people love strategy. Not only is it extremely useful to get the most out of your workout, but they love talking about strategy. So you have to, if you haven't done this workout yet, you need to put yourself in the shoes of someone who's about to do this workout. 21, 15, 9. It's not a ton of reps. Box jumps, we said these are probably going to be unbroken. Toes to bar, unbroken possibly. Thrusters, unbroken possibly. So this is just a push it. But what do you think is going to happen? We go unbroken or push the thrusters hard, and then we're back to box jumps. Man, that round of 15 is going to feel nasty. So maybe we break the thrusters up a little more than we think to prepare us for the box jumps, or at least we have to mentally be ready for box jump 1 on the round of 15, so the whole class doesn't come out and just hit their shins on the box when they attempt that first one. So it's just coming up with what do you think the strategies are going to be. And when I did my timing, I thought probably people break this one up a couple times. Talking through it now, I'm thinking possibly you might break those thrusters up one more time on the set of 21 just to make sure your 15 box jumps are solid and you don't get stuck on them. And then we can kind of get aggressive from there on out through. But having that strategy plan so you can give it to everybody for the workout is extremely helpful. So that's my checklist. Once I think I have my class planning done, I literally write out the acronym CNEWS, and real quick in my head, how am I using the clock? Got it. What am I going to do with the new person? I'm good. Equipment, we're good. I don't need to think about it. Weather, nothing to think about. Shoes, okay. 8, good. How much time? Good. What does this feel like? Ooh, okay. And then I start asking people who've done it, what does it feel like? I do it. What does it feel like? But that's what this is. Clock, newbies, equipment, weather, shoes. Hope that helps. Talk to y'all soon.